I think probably if you want to talk about education, I need to talk about AAUW, American Association of University Women, because that is, when you asked about projects, that's what I think of. It's not just myself, there are 90 other women in Erie who are involved in these things. And we've been in existence since 1903, actually, and our primary goal is scholarships. So what we're doing this year is giving $5,000 in scholarships to two non-traditional college women, that is, women who had to drop out of school for some reason and are continuing their education. That's one of our projects, and the other education project is we have a community education grant, which we've been giving for the past 5 years. And basically, we are concerned with inner city girls, and we're trying to get them interested in careers in science and math. This is an area that people say, well, aren't you going to help boys? But really, women need to be encouraged, and particularly inner city girls don't often get the opportunities they need. All I could think of was I sing with the Erie Philharmonic Chorus, and we just finished the Brahms Requiem in March, and there were about 120 singers on stage. 40 of them were from Grove City College, traveling chorus, and we sang. There's no way to describe what it's like to stand up on a podium or on risers and sing behind the Philharmonic Orchestra. That is just sheer joy. It takes you days to come down from that. And I'm also a member of St. Patrick's Choir, St. Patrick's Church, and that is a different kind of joy. But if you're asking about joy related to teaching, I would have to right now say what's on my mind is the children at the neighborhood art house down on 10th and Holland, which is run by the Benedictine sisters, but it's, of course, non-denominational. Right now, we have 60 inner-city children from the ages of 7 to 14, each memorizing a poem. Everyone who recites a poem, whether they win anything or not, gets a pizza party put on by so that is really fun to watch. People have no conception of what these kids are capable of, so that gives me a lot of joy. I would have to, as most women would, I think, mention my mother. My mother, Margaret Kennedy, was a high school graduate, and she was quite different from most of the mothers that I knew growing up. My grandmother lived with us, so she was able to get out and do things. My grandmother had raised 3 children by herself after a separation. So my mother was a Girl Scout leader. She took us to camp. She went to a national conference on Girl Scouts. She was always in PTA. She did a great deal with the hospital auxiliary. Best of all, when I was a junior in high school, she took a job at Allegheny College as a staff assistant, and she had this in mind all along. She knew that the college professors' children got their free tuition, and after she had been there a year, she went into the treasurer and said, my daughters need an education, can you give them tuition too? And that's how I got to college. Oh, I hate giving advice. I hate taking advice, but advice. Well, what I can think of right now is 2.5 years ago, 2 other women and I were just talking. We all belong to various groups, and we all said we were interested in writing our memoirs. And people always say, yes, I really want to do this writing. And the 3 of us made sort of a pact, and we agreed to meet every 2 weeks. And we would each promise to have several pages of writing completed. And we've been at it for 2 years, and we have all done quite a bit of work. Some of it is going to probably be publishable. One of us has a book that's going to work. The other woman and I are basically working on family memoirs. But what the advice I would give people is, if you have a goal, you need to find a couple of other people who also share the goal, who will keep you at it and not let you go. In other words, I would not dare show up without some text in print for them to look at. That's what keeps me going. So that would be my advice. I remember several years ago, I'm a great admirer of the columnist Ellen Goodman, and when she retired, someone asked her, how did you achieve everything that you did? And she said, showing up. And I finally, because of course my training, I have to look that up to see if she actually said it, because sometimes you don't remember the correct thing. So I looked it up, and it's actually a Woody Allen quote. And he said, 80% of everything that gets done is done by people who show up. So I thought that was neat. I liked that.